Hey there, I'm Henry Overton, president and co-founder of Turnkey Solutions. I'm very excited about talking with you today about this important tool that we believe all of our customers should have and use well, a password manager. Now, this isn't just that all password managers, although there's a lot of really good ones on the market. The one I'm going to specifically walk you through how to use well today is LastPass. LastPass is a product that we know very well here at Turnkey Solutions, and we know how to use it really, really well. So I'm going to show you how to get started today in this quick little video. I urge you to pay attention and ask questions afterwards, put in a ticket with our support desk, whatever it takes to get up and running and use this really, really well. That said, let's get started. Now, the first thing to do when getting started with your LastPass account is to look for that welcome email. I've got a picture of it on the screen. It's going to look something like this with your LastPass account created. Sometimes they change the names of those or the subject of that email, but look for something like this. It's going to be a welcome email from LastPass. Again, we encourage you to be aware of what email address or emails you're expecting. Only click on those. But in this case, you certainly would be looking for a welcome email from LastPass. It's going to have the username, which is going to be your work email address, and some kind of activation code. And it's typically going to have a link here to activate LastPass. If you hover over and inspect it, you'll notice that somewhere in that link is actual https://lastpass.com. So I'm going to click on the email, the activation link, and it's going to bring me to a browser page. And I'm going to do most of our work today for this account in Mozilla, a separate browser on my computer. So I'll paste in the link, and it's going to say that the account has been activated. It's going to want the activation code, and we'll just go through the basics of a typical account creation. The first thing we're going to be prompted with while we're working through that process is to create a master password. I'll pause here for a moment and explain this password is one of the most important passwords you'll have from this point forward. It is one of maybe 2 to 3 passwords that you'll need to remember ever again. And it's incredibly important that you make it a great password. In this example, the LastPass website gives you some specific parameters around how to create the password and what it should look like. If you need help with creating a really good password, we've got some great guides on our website about how to create a strong password that you can remember. And we certainly encourage you to make use of those, but don't make it something that's common with your other sites. Don't make it something so hard that you'll never, ever remember it. And don't make it something that is predictable if somebody knew basic information about you. So I'm going to put in my new password here. It meets all those requirements. I'm going to confirm it, and I'm going to put in some kind of reminder if I want to. I'm going to skip that, but you're certainly welcome to do that. So we're going to create our basic account and prepare to log into it. Once we're in the system, we're really going to get started with a whole lot of basic functions here. But one of the things that's important to note about LastPass is that it is a password manager for you, and it's going to span across your computer, across all the browsers that you have in it, and on your mobile devices. So we got to understand its role in the ecosystem of your passwords. We want it to be the only place where you store the vast majority of your passwords. So right out the bat, what you see is a really common thing is that your browser is going to ask you, hey, do you want me to store the password to your password manager or to this site? So you will say no and don't save. We'll definitely say no to that. Now, as we're getting going, one of the first things that it's going to pop up with is asking you to install the LastPass browser extension. If you click up here in whatever your browser is, modern browsers have some kind of little icon up here that signifies your extensions. What you'll do is you'll click there and you can look for the browser extension that you're looking for. So I'm going to type in LastPass and I find the exact same one. So we'll click there and you can see it brings you to the same page as that first little link. So there's a couple different ways that we've found access to the browser extension for your password manager. We click on install. It's going to want to know, hey, the browser is asking, hey, can we add this extension? We'll say yes. And if you notice, you don't see it right up there just yet. What you typically need to do is click on the little icon again and change your settings to pin it to the toolbar. So the first thing we'll do is, after getting the browser extension installed, is we will put in our username and that good password that we created as our master password, and we'll say login. Now, in our company, for our settings, we have a rule at our company that multi-factor authentication is a requirement. So I'm going to pause here for a moment while I set this up with you to note that it is really an important consideration while you go through this. Not every company by default has this forced on, but we really want to encourage you to enable multi-factor authentication in your LastPass account, because this is the place where you're going to be storing all of your passwords, where you're going to be storing access to Capital One and your banking and all of those important other sites. You've got three options that are all really, really very good. LastPass has their own authenticator application and backend system. Google Authenticator is a really solid platform as well, and it integrates in with the authenticator program that Turnkey Solutions recommends and sells, called WatchGuard AuthPoint. Microsoft Authenticator is extraordinarily common as well. So you can do any of those. So if you're only going to be using this for LastPass, the LastPass Authenticator is a really good tool. So we're going to say enable there. Then on my in there, I'm going to pick, by the way, I picked the LastPass Authenticator just to kind of give an example. And there's a slightly different instructions on each one. I'm going to put in my master password, and I'm going to begin enabling LastPass Authenticator. Now, we're going to have a few little prompts that we're going to walk through, and now we get to where we got to set up the mobile app. There's a application for this program in the Android Play Store or the Apple App Store. So we're going to pause for a moment while I set that up. I've gone ahead and installed the LastPass Authenticator app on my cell phone. I'm going to click to get started on it. So I'm going to touch on that icon and say get started and enable notifications, because you're going to need that for this to work. And we'll have to say allow. In whatever device platform you have, you'll need to go ahead and allow notifications. On there, we add the account. Once it's ready to add the account, you go here, and on the computer, you say next. And on the app, you just scan that QR code, and it happens very, very fast. Once it's all set up, you'll have the LastPass Authenticator application installed on your mobile device. And when you've scanned that code, you'll have a little 6-digit code that kind of rotates through on there, and we'll use it as we go. Now, we do want to back up the authenticator token. You can use a YubiKey as your backup or multiple other technologies, or you can set up a text message backup mechanism. And now we're back in and we activate it. And again, at the moment, it's really important that we remember, don't save your passwords in the browser. We're going to walk through how to turn this on. Right now, we're just covering how to set up LastPass and a multi-factor authentication system for you in front of it. So we'll say no, and then we log into your platform. So we're going to log into there. You're going to put in your username and your password. type in my password. And again, don't save that password there. We'll go to your phone and it's popping up and saying, hey, do you want to accept that login? And we can say accept. And it'll put you right in. So it's incredibly simple to get logged in. A feature that you'll want to look at down the road is the personal accounts. We're not going to set that up just right yet. Once you've set up your username, password, and multi-factor authentication, if that's required for you, you're able to see the icon turn to a different color. It turns red when you're logged in. That's an important thing to remember, that if the icon is red, it's logged in and functioning. And if it's not red, you're not logged in. I'm going to walk through that login and log off process real quick, just to kind of show you. Again, I'm logged out now, and you can go around the internet and it's not functioning and it's not working. But if you get logged into it, and again, I'm going to bring my cell phone over here just so you can kind of see how the multi-factor authentication system is really not that hard to work with. But I'm going to go get my username and my password, say login, and the MFA is going to pop up on your cell phone and say, hey, do you want to allow this login? We just say accept, and it turns red to signify that you're logged in. Now, a couple things to wrap up setting this up and getting you off to a great start. Now that the platform is enabled for you and plugged into this browser, we want to go back and turn off the old browser-based password management system and make sure that we don't get prompted for those passwords anymore from the browser. So we'll go to whatever your settings are. We're going to, inside that browser, you can click on the little three lines in Mozilla, and most of the browsers have similar things. If you can't really find your settings, all the major current browsers have the ability to search inside the settings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off asking to log in, and I'm going to turn off the idea to store passwords and all those functions there, and make sure that it is not going to continue to pop up and want to store those passwords in your browser. If you click on the little red icon when you're logged in, you click Vault, and you get a quick little tour here of all the different sections. You can store your passwords securely in here, and it'll store them and help you log in no matter what device you're on. You can get a quick look at your password strength. Now, I don't have any passwords in there, and most of y'all have all stored passwords in your browsers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in Chrome how to, or from a different browser, I'm going to go and grab some passwords that we have stored in this platform and export them and pull them into LastPass. It's really simple. So in Chrome, I'm going to go to there, the little three dots and settings. I'm going to go to passwords. And okay, now that we've got your basic account set up, what we want to do is start saving passwords in there. Before we do that, we want to make sure and get your passwords out of your current browsers into LastPass, secured, but then remove them from your old browsers and make sure that we don't keep storing old copies in your old browsers in what are less secure locations. So in this example, again, we're staying with Firefox. What we're going to do is we're going to click those three little buttons up there that kind of get us into our settings area. And it's similar in Chrome. I think there's three dots in Chrome, and it's a little different look in Edge, but all the major browsers, there's a little thing up there that gets you to settings. If you click there and just look for passwords, almost all the browsers have some function there where you can see them. What we're going to look for here is we're going to see we're first going to grab your existing passwords So we'll go here and we'll say, show me my passwords. Right there, what we're going to do is we're going to grab all those passwords, and in this specific browser, the export setting is over here on the right. Almost all of them have the export function somewhere. We're going to export all of those to a text file. I'm going to put them in a folder over here. Once you've exported your passwords, it's pretty simple to import them into LastPass. What you're going to do is you'll go to your vault by, again, clicking the little red icon, opening up vault. You'll go to advanced options and import. You can pick which browser and you can find the file that you just exported. For me, I put it here. And you can see all of your passwords are there. And now you'll get a prompt to go look at the security settings for those passwords and get some recommendations on how you can make them better. At the moment, what we've got is we've got 4 passwords that we had in our browser stored in a relatively insecure location and only in that browser. And now everywhere we log into LastPass, secured by multi-factor authentication, we'll have access to those accounts. To test it, what we'll do really simply is pull up one of those websites where we had a stored password previously embedded in the browser, and now we've migrated it over to LastPass. Go to log into it, and we should have your username pre-filled with the LastPass icon over there, indicating that it's the tool that did that, and our password pre-fill as well. And we say sign in, and remember, we should, if you've turned off the password saving function, we should not be prompted anymore by that particular browser to save the password. Then we're going to go back to our password setting in the browser. We're going to go to the saved logins and we're going to delete them all. We want to make sure and purge them from here so that we don't keep saving them in that insecure location. One of the last and most important things that I can encourage you to look into is the help function inside of LastPass. It is very good at getting you simple directions on how to do some simple and more advanced functions. If you'll go into your vault, there's a really good help section available to you down here at the bottom. For example, if you need help with maybe importing from a different browser, or if you want to look at how to turn on multi-factor authentication with a different authenticator tool, if you'll go to the support section and just look for the basic words that you're looking for, there's some really good help there, and you'll find that it's pretty simple to get done what you need done. If that's not all that you need, we are really more than glad to help. So call us at 225-751-4444 and we're here for you. All right, that concludes the basics on how to get started. I know there's a million things that we didn't cover today, but that's the basics on how to get you up and running, logged into your LastPass account and functionally using it. Remember, it's important to not get stressed out and think this is too complicated. Start with your main browser, Edge, Chrome, Safari, whatever your primary browser is. Get your passwords moved into it, get your account set up, turn on multi-factor authentication. I can't stress that enough. Turn on multi-factor authentication. And if you need help, please don't forget to call us at 225-751-4444. We're here for you, and we want to make sure that you use this tool really, really well, because it's an incredibly powerful tool to stop cyber attacks, expensive breaches, and the real time wasting work that it takes to recover from a stolen password or compromised credentials. So thank you so much. Have a great day and call us when you need us. We're here for you. Thanks so much.